Hi there, my rebels. Welcome back to Revenue's Rebellion. Alright, so picture this. A guy in his 20s, laid off from his 9 to 5 with 2 kids at home, a pile of bills, and zero backup. What does he do? If you're like me, you'd probably curl up with a bag of chips and pray for a miracle. But no, this guy bet on himself. His weapon of choice? Not some fancy $100,000 food truck. Oh no, baby. It was a 3D printer shoved into a little closet of his small apartment. That's right, rebels, a 3D printer. What started as a hobby shot him straight to $500,000 a month in revenue. But hold up, I know you're thinking, how? Let's break it down. When this guy first bought into 3D printing, it wasn't because he wanted to start a business. It was simply because he found something that fascinated him. Hobbies are often the gateway to entrepreneurial success, and here's why. They allow you to dive into something without the pressure of making money immediately. This is crucial because when you're just having fun, you're more likely to experiment, make mistakes, and refine your process. For him, the 3D printer was a way to explore creativity. He didn't know it at the time, but the skills and knowledge he gained from his hobby would be the exact tools he needed to scale into a 6-figure business. Here's how hobbies set the stage for entrepreneurship. Spotting opportunities. Hobbies help you see what's possible in ways you never thought of before. For example, when he started 3D printing, he realized that this technology wasn't just for making toys or gadgets. It was transforming industries. A light bulb went off. This opened his eyes to the potential in fields like aerospace, medical prosthetics, and even fashion. His hobby became a bridge to tapping into industries that others weren't even thinking about. Test and iterate. One of the most important things about starting a hobby project is that you don't need to get it perfect from day one. Instead, you can iterate. Mistakes aren't failures. They're opportunities to improve. This mentality became essential as his side hustle evolved into a full-fledged business. The printer in the closet was never meant to be perfect. It was just the starting point. He learned, refined, and iterated until he found the right combination of design and marketing that worked. Passion fuels persistence. Here's the kicker: passion. It's one thing to grind away at something just for money, but when you're deeply into your hobby, you keep pushing through even when things get tough. For him, 3D printing was fun, exciting, and something he was obsessed with. When things got hard, like when he was juggling 10 machines in the kids' playroom and the power kept flipping, his love for the process kept him going. So, if you're sitting at home wondering, can my hobby really become a business? The answer is yes, but it requires one thing: commitment. Turn your passion into a practice, then let it evolve from there. Don't focus on the money right away. Focus on the learning. The money, that will follow as a result of the value you provide. So, he had 10 machines running in the kids' playroom, but horror came when breakers started tripping. Machines would overheat. The whole house would go dark. So, what does this guy do? He had 3 options. Keep it small and pray the machines don't catch fire. Scale back, cut down on machines, and maybe call it quits. Go big. He went with option 3, and it almost broke him. But as he crunched the numbers, the dream was alive. Scale up to 20 or 30 machines, and it could be a full-time gig. They did it, and boom, he went full-time in year 4. So here's the thing that separates good entrepreneurs from great entrepreneurs: the terrifying decision that made the difference between struggling to make ends meet and hitting $500,000 a month. He had to lose half his revenue overnight. Yeah, you heard that right. Half of it. Why? Because this move forced him to narrow his focus and streamline operations. No more trying to be everything to everyone. Cutting the dead weight, it was the key to unlocking the floodgates of success. Most people hear 3D printing and think, cool, robots printing toys and gadgets. But here's the kicker. 3D printing is a game changer in industries where precision and customization matter. Whether it's prosthetics, aerospace, or fashion, the market is huge, and for the right customer, it's a goldmine. He took a niche approach, targeting industries that needed rapid prototyping and custom parts on demand. Guess what? These industries were willing to pay for speed and precision. Now that we've seen how a hobby can turn into a money-making machine, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of how this guy built his $500K month 3D printing empire. It's not just about buying a printer and hoping for the best. Nope, there's a process, and here's exactly how you can replicate it. The best part about this blueprint is that you don't need to break the bank to get started. His first 3D printer? $300. Don't go wild buying the most expensive tech out there. Here's why. Focus on learning, not spending. The goal is to gain experience, not make big investments. Find a basic 3D printer that fits your budget and get comfortable with it. You don't need to start with a ton of machines or fancy features. Just focus on understanding the technology. Here's a pro tip. Start small with FDN, fused deposition modeling printers, which are affordable and widely available. They're perfect for prototyping and can print a wide range of materials. Check out models like Ender 3 or Prusa Mini. These are beginner-friendly. Anyone can 3D print a cool gadget, but what problem are you solving with it? This is where your mindset shift happens, from hobbyist to entrepreneur. Here's how to think about it. Identify pain points in industries or daily life that aren't being addressed. The more niche, the better. Remember, people pay for solutions. For example, this guy realized that custom parts, like prosthetics or specialized tools, are often needed in low quantities, but with high precision. That's something traditional manufacturing struggles to deliver. Once you've identified the gap, position your product as the solution. Whether it's for a specific industry or a common problem people face, make sure it's clear that your 3D prints solve a real need. Think problem first, not product first. The product should solve a real pain, and if you can fill that gap better than anyone else, you're golden. This is the part where a lot of people get discouraged. You're going to fail, and that's perfectly fine. Remember, every failure is just feedback. Iterate on your designs as you go. Don't expect perfection from the start. Every time you mess up, you'll learn something new, which gets you closer to the perfect product. Keep testing. Can you tweak your design to make it more durable, lighter, or more efficient to produce? How can you improve your printing speed or precision? Use the hobby phase to experiment without the pressure of a deadline. The more you test, the more your skills grow, and the better your designs get. By now, you've gotten a good handle on the tech, and you're starting to build a product that solves a problem. But now, it's time to get serious about positioning yourself in the market. Pick a niche. This could be anything from medical prosthetics to fashion accessories. The more specific your market, the better your chances of standing out. Build your brand around that niche. Share the story behind why you're creating these products. What makes them different from everything else on the market? What unique value do you provide? People love story-driven brands. Engage with your target audience. Go where your potential customers hang out, whether that's online communities, social media platforms, or even industry events. For example, LinkedIn is an amazing platform for connecting with B2B customers in niches like aerospace or medical devices. Scaling your business is exciting, but it's easy to lose control if you're not careful. You need a sustainable strategy that supports your growth. Start building a team. You'll need extra hands as your orders pile up. Start with freelancers or contractors to handle specific tasks like design or customer service. Recurring revenue is the holy grail of scaling. Try to lock in long-term contracts or set up subscription models for repeat customers. Diversify your customer base. Once you've nailed down a niche, expand to others that also benefit from 3D printing, like automotive or construction. Think long-term. Aim for recurring revenue and build a sustainable business model that doesn't rely on one-off sales. The tech industry is constantly evolving, and 3D printing is no different. To stay competitive, you need to keep up with the latest trends. Invest in continuous learning. Whether it's learning new 3D printing techniques, new materials, or ways to improve customer service, always be improving. Stay active in industry communities. The more you network, the more ideas and opportunities you'll find. Industry events, online forums, and social media groups are great places to learn about new tools and technologies. Innovate constantly. As technology evolves, you'll find new ways to expand your business. Keep experimenting with new applications for 3D printing to stay ahead of your competitors. The best entrepreneurs are lifelong learners. Stay curious, keep experimenting, and never stop improving. Most surprising thing about this whole story, it's not the machines or the technology. It's that anyone can do this. Yes, even if you don't have a tech background, it's all about having the right idea, the right focus, and betting on yourself when no one else will. Sure, there were rough patches, but this guy learned that success isn't about fancy tools. It's about knowing your market, taking risks, and staying resilient when things get tough. So, are you ready to take the leap? Start with a hobby, start small, but whatever you do, don't play small. The food truck? It's just a metaphor. The real story is about finding your niche, solving a problem, and scaling intelligently. That's how a guy went from a hobbyist to running $1 million business. Thank y'all for watching. Until next time, my rebels. Dream big.